And I'm so thrilled to have with us Vice President of the Mark Wood Music Foundation, Laura Kaye, and owner-founder of Mark Woods of Electrify Your Symphony. As I was explaining it to my team the other day, enough energy to break the internet.
Good, then we're doing our job.
Yes.
Thrilled to see you. So sorry not to see you in person. Always some of the best hugs at the NAMM show every year. It's just lovely to have you with us. And you know, I love because you spend so much of your life out there as a touring musician, as a touring artist. You know, I'd like to start my questions to you. What was the moment like when you realized this was all going to change? Where were you? How did you address the existential threat of not being out with people and students and engaging them in your innovation? So who wants to start with that question, looking back?
Well, I think that it was, to say the least, devastating for our entire music industry, not only the dealers and our wonderful teachers, but our musicians. We had no work, and our work is our pleasure. Our work is our mission, our purpose. So it's been a tremendously eye-opening, enlightening moment too, by the way. And I don't know if you guys know that we actually are musicians who travel physically, get on an airplane, and we go everywhere where there's a school and a music program to help. And listening to these great panelists and our wonderful Congresswoman, it does take a village. We all are contributing certain things to the health and support of our music programs. And we're musicians, so we provide something that's really interesting because we provide the exposure to magic. The magic of music, not just pushing buttons and curriculum specifically, even though we do teacher training, we have our own curriculum, but to be in a live stage with a child who's never heard applause, a child who really is who's dealing with self-issues and confidence. We're standing right next to them. And we're not there just for the concert, we're there for the entire week of a residency. We're meeting with the principals, the administrators, the town leaders. We're meeting with the dealers. We're bringing everybody together for these moments of our residency. And it's creating a huge impact where the ripple effect is for months. And we find that we show the kids, you know, when we all grew up with music, we always had our favorite band, our favorite musician, our favorite composers to inspire and motivate us. So when we go to the schools, we're with them for hours every day talking to them. So it's really been a great 21 years we've been doing this. It's fueled by our nonprofit. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of students per year that we're able to address. All the profits from the concerts go back into the music programs so that the school music programs are funded, because unfortunately they're challenged by that. We all know that. So we're going to come and help. We play 1,000-seat, 2,000-seat auditoriums. The entire town comes. The media's there filming us. We're interviewed, and we talk about the power of music. And that, I think, is the first stimulus motivator for any person, is the love of music. Let's harness that, and then let's bring the technology, all the curriculum, teacher training that we do. Creative intelligence is critically important. I know the Congresswoman spoke about the importance of creative intelligence. We also do emotional tech. We talk to the kids that they're not just sawing on their violin. Like I do the orchestra, Laura does the choir. We have people who do the band. We have people who do the rock band people. But we always talk about, we're not just sawing, we're not just singing, we're singing magic. We're connecting our hearts to the audience. That is what we do, and that's the learning experience that sports has a whole different learning examples, but sports don't apply that. We can't cry in football, ladies and gentlemen, but we can cry in music. We can't cry in biology. So the emotional aspect of music is such a critical topic that we talk about. So yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. Select students come to our camp. It's just awesome.
So then I'm going to say to Laura, then it all stopped, Laura. What happened? How did you invent that energy into your online studio?
Insane.
Like for you?
So all of that is, we sent some pictures to NAMM so that you guys could get an idea of what all of this looked like before COVID. So last March, we're in Tucson, Arizona, getting ready to do two enormous programs with orchestra students, first in Tucson and then in Phoenix. And at the 11th hour, they keep talking. It's like, oh, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. And we're all watching the news and we're all like biting our fingernails. And then the world just stopped. We were stranded. We were stuck in a hotel room in Gilbert, Arizona. And I think Mark, we allowed ourselves about an hour to like cower in the corner of the hotel room, screaming and crying and railing as we watched emails flooding in going, I think we're going to cancel this year. Yep, we're going to cancel. We're going to cancel. And the world just exploded for us. So after that hour, we scrape ourselves up off the floor, but we're creative people. So as creative people, we think creatively. And, you know, Mark's dad, when 9/11 happened, said two words that really define our whole philosophy: destruction, construction. Think about that for a second. It's like, okay, so the world is exploding with COVID and everything is our world is shutting down. How do we bring something positive to the table? How do we pioneer the possibilities? So what we did was essentially we have an annual rock orchestra camp that we do. Last year was our 11th year, and we decided let's move forward with that. Let's do it as a 2-week online experience and throw every idea we could think of at the wall to see what would stick. And interestingly enough, quite a bit of it stuck. And long story short, at the end of it, we send out a survey to our campers, and almost everyone was like, even when we go back to in-person, you've got to keep an online component, which I'll get to in a minute about the importance of integrating that online component and what we've learned from this. You know, during our session the other day, actually, Ted Gee was talking a lot about individualized learning and how and I want to address that because what we do when you're working in the framework of this box, the kid who's in the back row of the orchestra or hiding behind everybody on the top choir riser who thinks nobody can see them, in this environment, we can all see you. And so in this environment, we need to help empower them with skills that work with this technology and right now. So we all know that there's no substitute for in-person concerts, right? But we have to get kids collaborating on something. We have to get them invested in something that they can own. And so what we have morphed into is creating these music videos, which we have a little clip that we can show at the end of this that I sent to you guys to show what we've been doing. And they're not just like, we've all seen like the virtual concert videos with a whole bunch of boxes and kids are just standing there. Might as well just be looking at a picture. What we're doing is we have performance workshops with me, where I try to get into the kids' heads and get them to identify the things that hold them back, to show me who your audience is. This is your new audience. So how do we play to this audience? And really talking to them like real talk, like you feel horrible about the pandemic. So do I. I feel like a limb has been cut off my body that I can't perform on stage. But show me how that feels. Like Mark mentioned, connecting emotionally with your music. And especially when you're in this environment, how do you smile when you play? How do you position the camera? We have a choreographer and a movement coach. So we do all of this stuff. So it's about rehearsals and workshops and individualized learning. That's what Ted had said the other day. That's so, so important.
So
and it really, yeah.
I just want to, just drill a little bit into this. Have you then, once you pass into you're going to do this, are you like hyper busy? Are you doing this every day?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
we want to get a sense of it went from getting on planes and walking into venues and stage managers and and now you haven't gone anywhere in 10 months and you have this. You look great on camera, by the way. Whatever you're doing, I want more of that. Okay, so you're
lighting.
Are you busy doing this?
Oh, Mary, we're doing 8 to 10 master classes a day. I'm going from San Antonio to Florida to California to Ohio to Wisconsin. And by the way, I am wearing pants. And I've been wearing pants all year.
So am I. I'm not wearing shoes, but I'm wearing pants.
And we have it's a 30-minute master classes, and we're talking about the music that they're about to learn for the video YouTube that we're going to produce for them. We've got 5 editors full-time working on us. I'm mixing all the tracks. They're all doing clap clicks so that we can line the audio up. And we have schools from 500 students, singers, band people, drummers, and violin string players. And it's really, really been fun. And they're learning, the very shy kids who in the classroom sort of hide behind the more aggressive kids on these Zooms. They're very relaxed in their safe zone in their room. So I
So,
can talk to little Joey
so
better, you know?
you got the word you reconfigured the Mark Woods Laura Kaye
Yeah.
enterprise, right? You got the word out. You started scheduling. You obviously had a little bit of a shopping cart there, right? Because
Yeah.
right. So you got that going, and now, what are you going to do next? You're going to start. Are you booking Kalamazoo? Have you booked
Oh
Kalamazoo?
yeah,
And
we're
We are starting, we're so excited to say that we're starting to book in person in the fall. Mark and I are each halfway vaccinated, so we're getting much, much closer to that. But schools, we just worked with a school last week. I can't remember. One of these educators that we've been working with from a little town. Is it in Tennessee?
oh yeah, Johnson City.
Susan Johnson City. So this teacher, we're doing, I think, 4 or 5 songs with her high school and her middle school, and we're doing almost daily online rehearsals and storyboarding because we have the kids come up with a storyline for the video. It has to be something that they can own. And so she's booked us for next year, but how she's booked us is she wants us to come in virtually several times a month to coach the kids and get them ready so that when we're there in person, the visit will have that much more impact. So it's really, I mean, I'll say it took a long time to get the word out, to get it off the ground. But the last couple of months, we've been, like Mark said, 8 hours a day visiting schools left and right. And I don't see that ending. I see that going into the future as well. I don't know if Bethany wants to show a little sample of some of the videos that we've been producing.
Because we're running a little bit over, we're going to show it at the end. All right.
Oh, okay.
I know, but we'll definitely show it. We'll do it as a trailer at the end. But so what I'm hearing you're saying is that it jumps off of Ted's conversation too, is that it's actually accelerating the experience, and it actually for many
Yeah.
students is giving them an individualized and deeper experience. And how can this be not good?
Right.
Well,
How?
like
Right.
Ted said is providing more access to more kids. So when you're
Right.
in this kind of an online thing, and we're working with schools that are hybrid. We're working with schools that are strictly online. There have been a couple of schools that have been in classrooms with masks that they put us on a screen. But however you can get to deliver the message is such an important thing. And getting the kids to feel like they're being seen and heard, which we do in person. We always know how to zero in on the kids that need it the most. Well, in this environment, you can really see them. And so we continue that as well. So yeah, I think that this is here to stay. And I like that because there's so many positives about that individual experience and about coaching and about that kid who's in the back who thinks that nobody notices them or cares, that
You know,
we see you.
I love and admire you for so many reasons. I think the top one being that you are really artists, right? You have the artist sensibility about you. You're, really committed teacher. So my final question is kind of what did this year teach you? What did it teach you in the most essence and purest way?
Mary, I'm so glad you asked me. And very briefly, it was very emotional for us. It's very emotional for us to connect with kids who are dealing with the pandemic. And it's emotional for us too, to the point where we talk very openly and honestly to them as though they're in the room. And I think that really was a great experience for us. These kids, and mostly the parents, we hear from the parents. My kid has been struggling all year with this pandemic, with every subject. And if you didn't bring Mark and Laura in, the music program would have really been decimated. bringing us in woke up these children, and it became emotional. It became like, wow, we're doing this, kids. Yeah, look at me in the eye, and we get your instrument up, and we're going to get you to play even better. We do these drills with them. We do these links. Here's, click on the Zoom link of the rehearsal we just did, and practice every day to it, so that we don't lose, and we are losing a lot of our players by not playing all year. So it's been very interesting.
It is very emotional, like Mark said, but you know, the mental health aspect of making music cannot be understated. So I speak from personal experience. Music saved my life. And I just, Mark and I seem to both have that knack for finding the kid who needs that lifeline and speaking to them plainly. In a way, instead of saying, oh, it's all going to be okay, life is going to be okay. It's like, no, it stinks what we're going through this year. Let's actually have a conversation about that. And now let's channel all of that into your making music. And it's everything that we do is about empowering and having kids own the spotlight. And like Congresswoman Bonamici said about creating leaders, you know, America, we always complain that we have a lack of creative thinkers in this country. Well, that's because music and arts keeps getting cut at such an alarming rate. The more musicians, and we don't mean career musicians, but if music is part of your life, I mean, heck, Albert Einstein, the smartest guy on the planet, played the violin, and music enhanced it. Mark shows that a slide of that at every performance hang that he does with schools where he performs and talks about his life and his career. It's so critically important to have that outlet as an artist, because this is what's going to create scientists. This is what's going to create brilliant mathematicians. This is what's going to create brilliant, creative, leading thinkers. Yep. So is music. So thank you so much, NAMM, for your advocacy.
Supported us for years.
If only Einstein knew how to play a viper.
Right?
Let's bring all of our panelists back on. There's the viper. Oh, just think if only Einstein could have had that. Panelists, it's great to see you. You've all made such a wonderful contribution. So again, we always like to give our panelists a chance for final thoughts. All right, Mark and Laura, your final thoughts, and we'll wrap up with Joe.
Excellent. Well, I'm hoping we could show our little video of the YouTube that we're making with the schools, but I can't thank everybody enough. I think that it takes a village. I think that Cindy said it very eloquently. In the past 6 years, we expected music education to be on the forefront and to be the leader in that, and we are unfortunately have not seen that. I think the prior administrations fumbled with that. I'm really believing that I have optimism. The new administration is really going to address our education needs, especially our music. So cross your fingers, everybody. Let's get everybody involved.
Thanks,
yes,
Mark.
we are proud and thrilled to be part of NAMM for what, 25, 30 years? I don't know.
We've been members for 25 years.
NAMM members for feels like forever. Cindy, you could not have said it any better, that NAMM is the gas tank.
Yes.
That NAMM and encouraging people, I just want to echo your words. Go to NAMM's website, find all these resources. You know, when we first signed up to do the NAMM fly-in advocacy, we're like, oh my God, that's going to be so much work. It was so empowering. It was such an amazing thing to just take little steps, to just learn. It doesn't take much, but any action is better than no action. And especially when it comes to music education, if you're going to cry and whine about it without taking action, well, you have to do something. It's like, this is about the future of our generations and of our society and about our planet. And bravo to all of you. What incredible work this whole panel of people is doing. Just, I want to applaud you all.
Yes.
Really.
And we are going to show your video right after a few announcements and right after Joe gives us a final thought. Joe?
No, I can only add that, Suzanne Bonamici told us the secret, which is storytelling, and each one of you are incredible storytellers, and our vision is about storytelling of the young people's lives that are changed. There's a lot of work to do, and Cindy, doesn't stay fixed. It's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. You get done on one end, you got to start on the other and paint all over again. This just never stays fixed, and that's our life's work, right?
Thank you, our panelists. Boy, you're mighty. And let's all stay tuned for this remarkable closing video from the Electrify Your Strings and the Mark Woods Foundation. Thanks, everybody. Bravo. And let's make sure our NAMM team comes
Woo!
on. Hello, our great production team, Claire, Eric, Bethany. We always love seeing you, to thank you. And thanks everybody for joining us. Lovely to have you. Please share the taping of this webinar far and wide so we can share this inspiration. Enough energy to break the internet. Thanks everybody.